Hello, queens. Long time no see. I'm finally back at y'all with another client tutorial, and today I'm going to be showing y'all how I created this fall inspired glitter cut crease. So without further ado, we're jumping straight into the video. I'm starting this off by cleaning my client's face, and y'all, before we get into the tutorial, look at my beautiful model. Can y'all believe that these are her eyelashes? Like, these are her natural grown eyelashes. Like, girl, you wake up with a whole full set. I was mesmerized. But as y'all can see, I'm finished cleaning the face. So now I'm just about to start on her eyebrows. And to outline them, I'm using my Nicka K brow pencil. And I believe this one is in the shade Black Brown. Now that the brow has been outlined, I'm going to start filling in all the sparse areas, and I'm going to be alternating between the two shades, Black Brown and Dark Brown. I don't know if y'all were able to notice or not, but the arch on her right eyebrow is slightly higher than the arch on her left eyebrow. So I'm going to try to make them as symmetrical as possible when outlining the brows. As you can see, I'm raising the arch of this eyebrow, and I'm also going to fill a few hairs in at the front to try to get them as identical as I can. Now that both the brows have been filled in, I'm going in with my clear eyelash glue, and I actually purchased this from Shein and it worked phenomenal, y'all. But as you can see, I'm applying a generous amount onto the brows, and then I'm going to be going in with the spoolie end of my pencil, and I'm using it to mold the hairs down in place. To clean up her eyebrows, I'm going in with my Nicka K concealers, and I'm using the shades 01 and 07. I also ended up using a little bit of the shade 03, but first I'm going in with the shade 01, and I'm going to use this to clean up the entire bottom half of her eyebrows. To clean up the top of her eyebrows, I ended up mixing the shades 07 and 03 together to try to create her perfect shade. Now that both the brows are clean, I'm going in with my RCMA no color powder, and I'm going to be applying this to the front of the brows to lighten them up, and I'm also using it to set some of the concealer in place. I'm going to be going back in with my Nicka K concealer in the shade 01, and I'm applying this throughout her lids. This is going to act as my eyeshadow base today. And remember, if you are using this product as a base, a little does go a long way. After I pressed in the concealer, I went back in with a little bit more of my RCMA no color powder, and I'm using it to set the concealer in place. For today's eyeshadow look, I'm going in with the Saharan palette by Juvia's Place, and the first shade I'm taking is Zora, and I'm just going to be applying this to the outer edge of her eye. Yeah, I was under the impression that this would be a nice deep burgundy shade, because if you have the palette, then you know that's how the color looks in the pan. But when I applied this to her eyes, it was giving hot pink, and that most definitely is not what I was going for. But we're going to deepen it up later on in the video. To deepen up the color, I'm going on top of it with the shade Fez, and that's like a reddish brown shade. And as y'all can see, it brought it to like a red tone color, which is closer to what I was going for. Still not exactly there, but it's close enough for me. Now I'm taking a darker brown shade. This comes from my Jaclyn Hill x Morphe palette, and I'm just going to be applying this into her crease to deepen it up. I'm going in with my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Fair Rose, and I'm going to be using this to cut her crease. As y'all know, this is a very tedious step, so you want to take your time. It was crazy because I cut her creases so fast, but she had a very easy lid to work with. As you can see, the map is basically already there, so I'm just going by the shape of her eyes, and I like to work one at a time when using my e.l.f. Camo Concealer, because as I've told y'all in the past, this product does dry very quickly. So if you try this, make sure that you work one eye at a time. Once I have the crease cut, I'm just going to go ahead and blend out the concealer. Now that both of her eyes have been cut, I'm going back in with those first two eyeshadow shades that I used, and I'm using them to blend out the edges of her cut crease. I'm going to set the inner corners of her cut crease using a matte white eyeshadow. For the center of her cut crease, I'm going in with this warm tone shade from my Shein Smart Cookie palette. But if you have the Saharan palette by Juvia's Place, you can go in with the shade Taza. I'm going to go ahead and line her eyes using my Wet n Wild black liquid liner. I'm going in with some black eyeshadow and I'm using it to blend out the edge of her liner into her cut crease. I'm taking my Mermaid Scales glitter in the shade Lava Bliss, and I'm just going to be adding this on top of her cut crease. I went ahead and added the adhesive off camera, and for my adhesive, I used the same glue that I used for her eyebrows, the eyelash glue that came from Shein. Once I'm finished tapping on the glitter, this is the finished look for the eyes, and we're moving on to the face. I'm taking my Pond's moisturizer and my Photo Finish primer from Smashbox, and I'm going to be using both of these to prime her face. First, I'm going in with a generous amount of the moisturizer. I'm going to press the moisturizer into her skin, and then I'm going to go on top of it with the Smashbox primer. To balance out her skin tone, I'm going to color correct around her face using my Nicka K concealer in the shade 03. For her foundation, I'm going in with my Fit Me foundation in the shade Warm Sun. I'm just going to press this product in using a dense foundation brush. And y'all, this brush also came from Shein. Let me know if y'all would like to see a Shein haul makeup artist edition, because Shein definitely has a lot of go-to items for an affordable price. So let me know if y'all would like to see that. To highlight her face, I'm going in with my Nicka K concealer in the shade 01. So unfortunately, y'all, my camera ended up shifting and I didn't notice it until after I blended out her concealer. But I blended out the concealer using the same brush that I used to blend out her foundation. As y'all can see now, I'm just moving on to contour. And to contour her nose, I'm using my e.l.f. putty bronzer. I'm not sure of the shade name because it doesn't have one on it. I decided to only contour her nose. I really didn't want to sculpt out her face because I wanted to keep her face nice and soft to complement the dramatic eyeshadow look that we did. But as y'all can see, when I'm contouring the nose, I just like to go down the bridge on both sides and I try to keep it as narrow as possible. You want to make sure that you're contouring in the right spot because it is possible to make their nose look bigger, and that's usually not what you're going for when you're contouring somebody's nose. But as y'all can see, after I have it lined up, I just go in and I blend out the edges of the line by dragging them down. I like to go in with whatever excess product is left on my foundation brush and I use it to blend out the edges of the nose. And once I have it all blended, I'm just going to go ahead and finish blending out the concealer underneath her eyes. And to do so, I'm using this flat brush. To set the concealer in place, I'm going in with 2 of my Morphe loose powders, and these are in the shades Banana and Banana Rich. First, I'm going in with the shade Banana Rich because it's darker, and I'm using it as like my base to set the concealer. Now I'm going in with the shade Banana, and I'm using it to lighten up the places where we highlighted. I'm going to bronze up her face using my Black Radiance Contour Palette, and I'm taking the sculpting shade and I'm just applying it to the areas that you would typically contour. To set the remaining areas of her face, I went in with my Fenty loose powder in the shade Honey. I'm going in with the shade Taza from the Saharan palette, and I'm using it as a blush. I'm going in with some black eyeshadow, and I'm just lining the edge of her waterline. I'm going in with a warm tone brown shade, and I'm just smoking out the edge of her lower lash line. Now that the under eyes are complete, I'm just going to go ahead and dust away all of the powder. I'm going to spray her face in place using my Morphe setting spray, and then we're going to move on to lashes, and the lashes also came from Shein, y'all. I went ahead and cut them to fit her eyes off camera, so now I'm just gluing them onto her lash line. Lashes were really optional with her because, as y'all saw in the beginning of the video, her lashes are very long, very thick, and very curly, okay? It made it pretty difficult to apply her lash strip. It's like the lashes were just fighting back, but I got them on there, okay? While her lashes are drying, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight her face. And to highlight her face, I'm using my Bperfect highlighter. Last but not least, it's time to do the lips. So I'm going in with my Juvia's Place Cream Foundation. I'm going to have the shade name in the description box down below, but I'm using it to outline her lips. I like to use creams when outlining the lips because it just makes it easier to blend into the liquid lipstick, and they apply more flawlessly since they're so smooth. I'm going in with a Q-tip, and I'm using it to blend out the edges of the liner. For her lip shade, I'm going to be going in with the Absolute New York Liquid Lipstick and the OZ Lab Lip Gloss. You can find them both at your local beauty supply store. And as you can see, I'm just applying the liquid lipstick first, and I'm using the other half of my Q-tip to do so. And I'm just going to blend the liquid lipstick into the liner, and I'm going on top of it with that OZ Lab lip gloss, and I'm gonna have her press her lips together to help me blend the two colors out. And then I'm gonna go back in with the Q-tip and use it to blend out the edges a little bit more. Her eyes were slightly watering, so I ended up applying mascara to her bottom lashes off camera, and this is the finished look, and we're stepping into the grand reveal. Okay, you ready to see?
Yeah. Let me take my phone to that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You look like it's
I
your
gotta
birthday.
go somewhere.
Period.
Somebody gonna see me.
Okay.
Somebody.
So, as y'all can see by my client's reaction, this tutorial was another success. I think this look came out amazing, and she looks so pretty. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Make sure that you follow me on Instagram. A link will be in the description box down below. And stay tuned for my next one. Bye-bye, queens.